Close your eyes and make a wish, y'all, because it is take number 2. Hi, everyone. Hi again. My name's GirafaStev, president of the Long Boy Club, the very large enjoyer of games, wrestling. Hopefully more than 12,000 kilobytes per second.
It's Stev.
It's ellipses. It's Stev. And my stinky cats. Tonight we are pulling up our big boy pants once again, and we are going to be diving into WWE Day of Reckoning for hopefully the final time. Hello there, Fizz. Hello there, Dan, Tom, One Ponytail. Hello, everyone. And also, I think Zach is still in chat, but maybe he's not, brother. And also, Brad. Ow! Not the tiny goddamn bladders. But before we get into tonight's festivities, I need to make good on something that a Long Boy Club regular, Defender, sent in to me. And that is, of course, Favorite Wrestlers Bingo. And in the interest of just getting the fuck on with the game, I'm gonna speedrun with this, okay? Absolutely fundamentally based man. Don't know enough about him, honestly, and I wasn't really around for, you know, the majority of his career.
Dan is out, very special boy.
Dan is out, very special boy. Out, comma, very special boy. Dan is out, comma, very special boy. Sting. Yes. Bray. Yes, I took a picture with a Bray cosplayer at a house show one time. It was really cool. Mick Foley. Absolutely based, both as a wrestler and what seems to be a human being. Cody, I only really fucked with him, you know, during the Mania 40 build, and, you know, beyond that, I've just not really cared. Rey Mysterio, absolute GOAT material, yes. Kofi, he should have gotten more, honestly. Big E, I'm retracting it, kinda. Even though I enjoy him as a person, as a wrestler, can take or leave. Ron Killings. I mean, I'm pushing him as the main event guy in TNA and TEW. So, absolutely, he's getting the rub. Stone Cold. Legendary. Legendary man. Right here. Matt Hardy. I really only like V1 if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Asuka. I loved her stuff in NXT. I love her with the Kabuki Warriors. It's cool. Kairi Sane, I only really like her with the Kabuki Warriors. Brock Lesnar, in fucking hell is where he is. Kairi Sane, I don't know enough about her. The Hurricane. He won't be asking what's up with that when I give him this X right here. MJF, absolutely. Orange Cassidy, absolutely. AJ Styles, abso-fucking-lutely. Luchasaurus, not necessarily. He's mostly a vibes wrestler for me, even though I do like me a good big man. Hangman Page, I may as well get this guy a double X. I'm giving him the mythical double X. Right fucking there. Riho, I like her. I don't really love her, though. Darby Allin. I'm hesitant, honestly. That's a Union Jack! No, you're right. You're right. The fucking all-British champion. Fucking Hangman Adam Page. Darby Allin. That's gonna make a fucking bingo, brother. Because I really like Darby Allin. I envy his lifestyle, honestly. Being able to put yourself through, like, incredibly tough shit is gonna end early due to injuries. I really don't think he cares, you know? He's here for a good time, not a long time, and I think that's something that he's fine with, frankly. So, yeah. And also, I just enjoy...
Bingo.
You know what? I envy
We
his
got a
lifestyle.
bingo.
Yeah, we do, man. We got a mother... Dude, we got that motherfucking bingo. Fuck yeah. Okay, can we get 2 bingos? Unfortunately, no. Because, you know, I like Rhea Ripley. I like Kurt Angle a lot, honestly. You know what? Fuck it. Just to pop the boys. I'm putting in Rhea Ripley. We got 2 bingos! We got 2 bingos! Do. We got those 2 bingos, brother! Just to pop the boys, we got the 2 bingos.
Double bingo, double bingo.
Double fucking bingo! Step on me, mother. Wait, what? Who said that? I didn't say that. Chad, did you say that? Because I didn't say that. Anyways, yeah, Dan, your taste is pretty fucking based, dude. I gotta be honest with you. It's pretty based. I didn't put Undertaker because... for a couple of reasons. I didn't put Undertaker for a couple of reasons. One, because I feel like when you look at his career overall, he really has, like, a pocket of, like, 4 to 5 years where you can look at him and just be like, I like this guy, you know? The rest of it is just kind of, like, bad booking and garbage wrestling, you know? Like, I think for the majority of his career, when you look at it overall, it's largely pretty bad. But, you know, him just being, you know, like, I don't know, such a lasting player in WWE's machine. I think that's kind of, you know, made him more of a legend in people's minds. And also the streak. So, you know, there's that. Cody Rhodes, you know, like, I'm obviously an AEW guy. But, you know, I don't really, like, see him, like, leaving as, like, a slider or anything. Because, like, he is tailor-made to succeed in WWE's environment, I feel like. He is their best babyface in probably decades. So, in that respect, I can't really fault him for that. It's just, obviously, you know, like, I'm kind of with a lot of AEW fans and where we started to really not fuck with him by the time he was done. And now WWE fans are starting to not fuck with him. So, there's that. Big E. I love his work outside of the ring. You know? In the ring, I can kind of take or leave, really. And then you have Matt freaking Hardy, who, you know, I like V1, you know? I like V1, and version 0.7. But, largely, I think that he's mostly been underutilized for, like, a lot of his career. And I think especially in recent times, he's just gotten really fucking annoying. You know? I would put Diamond Dallas Page on here, but there's more for his charity work outside of the ring. I mean, it is pretty significant work that he's done outside of the ring. Like, he's given back not just to wrestling, but to the world. You know? And I think that counts for a lot. Kairi Sane, I'm just not really too familiar with her body of work. I'm much more familiar with Asuka. Luchasaurus, it's kind of in the same vein. Although, you know, I've obviously...
It's almost time for 2.5-minute Domino's pizza break, my dudes.
Dude, Domino's Pizza? Jerix! Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you for joining the Discord server earlier, too. And thanks for following. You are now a member of the Long Boy Club for life! I appreciate you being here, man. How was your day today? Hold on. That's my forbidden GameCube library that you just saw. Kayfabe exposed ×2. Dude, we got a fucking twofer. It's still real to me, okay? My GameCube library is real to me, damn it. I own at least all these games. But yeah, Luchasaurus, he's more of a vibes wrestler for me, you know? But I haven't seen enough of her work to properly judge her for myself. Riho, she probably would be one of my goats if we just saw her more often. Because ever since AEW began, 2K Masters with my boyfriend right now, so we just hanging out. That sounds like an awesome Friday night, bud. I hope you're having fun over there. Much like we're gonna have fun with Day of Reckoning here shortly. But yeah, Riho, I really want to love her, you know? Because out of everyone on AEW's women's roster, she is the one that sticks out the most. Obviously, you know, not just because she was their first women's champion, but also just because of, like, you know, like, her look, and also how she carries herself in the ring. The problem is that we don't see nearly enough of her, you know? Every time that we see her, it's like 1 month, and then 6-month drought. Rinse and repeat until the inevitable heat death of the universe, you know? It's like really the only thing that's keeping her from like being GOAT material is that I just don't see enough of her. Before you ask me, Stev, yes, Mina Shirakawa was under consideration for the bingo. I wasn't considering Mina Shirakawa, but I was considering Rhea Ripley for that kind of same reasoning. Because I know all about you, Dan. And I agree, Rhea Ripley and Mina Shirakawa are both hot. Mommy, what? Huh? Who said that? Anyways, I think that I need to make my own template for this, and I need to share it in the LBC for all of you. You did. I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all, Bri. I'm pretty sure that you're just gaslighting me. Fucking gaslighting piece of shit.
Dan and Father are dirty boys.
You know, I don't even need to, like, bring Zach in here to make things lewd. I just do it myself now. I'm a one-man wrecking crew, you know? But yeah. I should make my own version of this at some point and put it in the LBC for everyone to judge me. I just put it in there, and it's all Hangman Adam Page. It's just different photos of Hangman Adam Page across all 24 spots. Dude, that'd be awesome. That would be base as fuck, though. Maybe I should do that. It's not even a question of, you know, which, like, wrestler is, or, like, which of these wrestlers is the best anymore. Which one is your favorite? It's more a question...
Father, I'm pretty sure your library is all pirated games.
I'm pretty sure that you should shut up. Homunculus. I'm pretty sure that you should shut the fuck up and go to hell and die. Alright? How about you take my library of pirated games and stick them straight up your candy ass? How about that? How about I take
this? Is this because I'm trying to become president?
No, you won't beat me, okay? I got this shit on lock. Ain't no one better at this game than me. Ain't no one longer, ain't no one girthier, ain't no one faster, stronger, more intelligent. I'm the one. I am the one.
Father, do I even have an ass?
Your ass is gonna be mine at this rate because, again, I'm the best at this. I'm the one. I'm the one. And you are number 2. As long as you keep eating the Cheetos.
I don't swing that way, Father.
I don't swing that way. Father, do I even have an ass? Again, it's gonna be fucking... Dude, your ass is gonna be up your ass if you don't shut your candy ass up. But yeah, I don't swing that way far. Well, why not? Why not? I said it already, that the perception around wrestling after the fuck ice chants tells me that wrestling needs to be gayer, right? Rage Against the Homunculus. It's right outside your door, Homunculus. Now testify before your father. Where have all my Cheetos gone? Because you're the only one in this house. We appreciate Old Man Yowie in this house. Old Man Yowie? No,
Father,
don't.
do I even have any lower parts to swing any particular way?
I mean, like, listen, dude. You're an abomination and an affront to God. I don't know what's in your pants. I mean, that right there is between you and God. You heard me. Dude, do we appreciate Old Man Yow? I mean, like, listen, wrestling is basically just kind of that, you know? It's a bunch of old sweaty... Rather, it's a bunch of grown men sweating in tights, you know, holding each other. Again, wrestling needs to be gayer, it needs to be more queer, and Hangman and Swerve should absolutely kiss. Hopefully, after Hangman wins the title and cements his place as a 3-time champion at Revolution and doesn't lose the belt, or rather, and doesn't lose the match and put himself in a situation where he can't challenge for it again. Because why would you do that? You won the right to face him. Why would you... Dude, if Hangman loses at Revolution, that might be a depression I can't come back from. I might just get in my car, go to a cliff, look up in the night, and then just go off the radar, you know? I'll live amongst the goddamn trees and monkeys and their berries, because there's no way. There's no way that you can do this to me, Tony. You can't do this to me, Tony Khan. Please! You can't do this again! You can't do this shit to me again!
You'd blend in with the trees easily with how tall you are.
That's not the point, Homunculus! I know I blend in with the trees! People throw TP on me all the time because they think I am a tree! That's not the point, though. The point is my boy could potentially not challenge for the belt again. And I don't want that. I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that. Please. Please, Tony. Please. I'll make the 24 Hangman favorite wrestler bingo if you just promise to make it so that Hangman can still challenge for the belt after March. God damn it. Sorry, chat. Like, I'm really impassioned there. I just want the best for my guy. Okay? I want the best for my guy. Anyways, what I also want is for us to finally get into the game and finish this godforsaken thing. Now, like I said earlier, I put on my big boy pants for this one, right? I'm fully aware that we might be here for a while. Because if the last stream is anything to go by, the game is about to get very hard. You know? It's been getting hard for a while now, and it feels like we're about to reach a fever pitch. So, I hope you all are here with me for it, and we will begin after these messages. It's hard-boiled. Dude, I'm gonna be hard-boiled after this.
Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dude?
Raw rolls on after this. He's hard.
Welcome to Namcoville. Namco Museum Volume 5 is a collection of
Dude, I gotta
five
fucking
classic
replace
older
these
than
with
dirt
like
Namco games from
infomercials.
the 70s and
Again,
80s.
we gotta
It
get
even
the
comes with a
Fazoodles
special
back
CD
in
that
here.
includes 70s and
That
80s
shit was
songs,
base as hell.
exhibitions of 70s and 80s clothes, and 70s and 80s pixel dust. There we go again. Lies. All lies. There is no CD, folks, but the game does include a kinky, kinda cool gallery, which is fun to
Kinky
explore for
gallery,
2 minutes.
chat.
You can check out the elevator if you're too much of a lazy bum to climb the stairs. I can relate. I'm so lazy that to avoid walking, I have a special car seat that detaches and rolls into the studio, planting me in front of the desk on our pathetic set. After taping, a trapdoor opens up and I'm thrust into the depths of the basement of this old, disgusting,
I'm really glad that we got
roach-infested
tonight's stream fixed, chat. I'm happy to be here with all of you.
Just kidding. Anyway, let's move on. You can also peruse the Opera House and see slideshows of the frame rates from decades past. Plus, hear the old sound effects. The Ghost House is also worth a visit, as you can scare those buttheads out of the window until you're blue
Scare
in the
those
face.
buttheads
Like
out of the
Biscuit,
window,
I
huh?
feel like taking a moment, so bear with me for a sec. Okay, thank you. If you don't get it, too bad. Watch more TV.
No.
Games included in this Namco game
I've-
are Metro Cross, which
I don't
gets
have
straight E's,
cable.
no matter how you rate it. Dragon Spirit, Ease again, and Baraduke, Ease, Ease, Ease. Together, these 3 games are worth half a bucket of spit, or any other bodily fluid. The only 2 games worth a hill of beans are Legend of Valkyrie and Pac-Mania. The former is the first game to feature the famed female Icelandic warriors. Heck, it's probably the only game. These girls are no Xenas either. This game has neat graphics for
Getting
its
things
time.
ready, chat.
Look at this effect for climbing a mountain. Cool, huh? If you want to see the earliest
I need to see how
Zelda-ish
much
game,
counter we've
this
got.
is what you need. Pac-Mania is the best of the bunch. 3D Pac-Man.
We don't have
Our Lego
nearly
land,
enough, I
or
feel like.
Excuse me, the land formerly known as Lego. Hey, remember our
Om
Lego
nom nom.
website story?
Oh, excuse
Here's a
me, we're
peek at
back,
that.
my dudes.
Hey, welcome back to Raw, chat. Literally, we're about to be on Raw.
We are, of course, kidding once
It's
again.
almost time.
The whole collection gets E's, except for a D in challenge. These ratings are by today's standards, so what do you expect?
Again, I expect you to make a single lick of fucking sense. Chat, we need to give old George Wood a break, I feel like, and we need to get those infomercials in here. Again, the Fazoodles are just standing right there, you know? They're waiting for us to address them, along with Floam. It's staring me right in the face. How long do the infomercials need to be, Max? I'd say, like, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You know? I feel like 2 minutes and 30 seconds is the sweet spot. You know? My god. This tiny Trump hands. I love it. Alright. First off, congratulations on winning the Royal Rumble. Billy Mays is an easy pile of those. It is, dude. There are so many infomercials out there that we could just fucking fill, like, 50 worth of them and put them, and just, like, put them in rotation. That's quite an accomplishment for such a new talent here in the WWE. Oh my! Is that, like, not Heihachi? That is Hachi, brother. Hold on. Talent here in WWE. He's Egg here. But he's supposed to be Egg Hachi. He's supposed to be like Eggman and goddamn Heihachi. Or at least he was for a time. But now he's hard-boiled. He was once upon a time called the Fishbone Cracker. But now, I'm a fit right in here. Great! Woo! Dude, we got a new fucking... Dude, we got a new committer to the cause. It's crazy. But yeah, this is the kind of shit I like to do on stream. I'd like to make these kinds of crazy characters. Thanks. It wasn't easy, but then nobody said it would be. I can't help but notice how going separate ways with the remnants of evolution seems to have suited you well. I know, he is a pretty sick fuck. I mean, After only 1 year, he won the tag titles, he won the Intercontinental title, and now he won the Royal Rumble in 2005. Yeah, well, I do owe Triple H and Ric Flair some credit for helping me break in, but let's face it, they're really just a bunch of jerks. I mean, like, I don't know why I'm not more mad at Eric Bischoff. This right here, like, the only reason that they have beef with me is because Eric Bischoff put them with me. If anything, I owe credit to Eric Bischoff for saying that, hey, the newest member of Evolution is Egg Hachi, or Egg in this case. Can I eat Egg? What, like his ass? His, cock? I don't mind pushing my weight around when I need to, but for the right reasons, you know? Can I remake Egg Hachi in 26? With the Barty... Yes, with the Barty morphing. With the body morphing, I may be able to cook with this on my own. If you can do it, you need to show me, because I am relatively confident that I cannot recreate this in any other game. This took so much to do, I feel like. We spent like 2 hours trying to make this guy, and he is, as you can see, beautiful. Sure, kid. In any case, now that you're the #1 contender for Triple H's World Heavyweight title at Mania, I figure that you'd better prepare yourself for some top-level competition, starting tonight. Taking orders from a higher up on Raw, do you think this mysterious person calling the shots appears as a higher... Dude, the hood comes off, and it's just Seth Rollins again. Dude, if it was Seth Rollins again, I'm gonna backflip off the Empire State Building. I will not be, like, fucking with that at all. But it would be funny for, like, 5 seconds. And then I would be like, dude, what the fuck? I'm gonna go back to TNA. No, I'm going back to fucking New Japan. So I'm booking you against Kane and #1 in a one-on-one match. Dude, Egg Hachi's over here getting hard-boiled, and you want me to watch Kane? I got you. I make so many calls, I may be able to work with it. Running it back? Dude, a legendary, what may as well have been a singles match between Egg Hachi and Kane. But now, it's different because now Egg Hachi is hard-boiled instead of just the fishbone cracker. I'm still pissed at you for stealing my shit. Dude, stretched out Kane text? That's insane. Dude, Glenn Jacobs starring in a remake of Citizen Kane. and he's literally just playing Kane the whole time. Dude, that feels like something that they would have shot for, like, Mania 21 when they went to Hollywood. Because they were all about the goddamn, movie parody stuff at the time. Are you telling me that they didn't have a bit where it was like, oh, it's Citizen Kane, but instead of, you know, Kane with a C, it's Kane with a K, and it's played by Kane. Intercontinental Champion, Egg Hachi. Dude, I spent all this time giving him a cool entrance, and we only got to see it for, like, a week. No sad. Dude, that right there shows that Vince McMahon is creatively bankrupt. You know? That's Taker in a Dirty Harry parody of all things. Dude, that right there just shows me that Vince McMahon is creatively bankrupt. Because that shit is free. You know? That shit right there is for free. And they just didn't take it. He's the fishbone cracker, and he's your Intercontinental Champion with a weirdly weathered strap. Looks like that strap looks like it's been through hell, brother. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's do the Here Comes the Pain music. We at least got JBL and Cena and a few good men. I believe that we also got, what was it, like, I don't know, Triple H and Braveheart, maybe? Oh boy, we're now in Reverse Factory again. Fuck you. I'm just gonna beat the ever-loving shit out of Kane, chat. It's what Hangman Adam Page would want, I feel like. Dude, is this really gonna be what we're doing now? Just a complete reverse factory for, like, all these matches? No. Yeah, and Booker T and Eddie in Pulp Fiction. Okay, so, like, it was Triple H and Braveheart. Okay. You know what? Booker T and Eddie Guerrero in Pulp Fiction is honestly inspired. That right there is great work. You know what? Never mind. Maybe, maybe Vince is better than I give him credit for. Actually, no, he's not. He's pretty shit. Fuck him. But for a second, I can just pretend, okay? Ah! Dude, you swatted me out the air. Fuck you. Nice. Nice! Eat my freaking one-leg Boston Crab, bitch. Should we, like, add a third finisher for Hachi? Where it's like a submission? Because if we're gonna be a main event star, I feel like we also need, like, a submission finisher. You know? It'll be you constantly attempting to recreate the Andre body slam shot. Also, it won't just be a reverse factory. It'll be you constantly trying to recreate the Andre body slam shot. Ah, yes. Crucially. God damn it. Dude, this is exactly what I was afraid of. I knew that this is going to be... I knew this was exactly what was going to happen. You know? I knew this shit was exactly what was going to happen. It was just going to be this for, like, the entire night. But Hachi isn't strong enough, dude. Okay, well, at least I, like...
Use the save state, Luke, I mean step.
I don't know what you're talking about, a save state. Dude. I mean, like, a save state would work well if, like, you know, it was like a Royal Rumble type match, right? But for, like, a one-on-one match, I don't think it's gonna work all that well. Hey, you! Go and talk to Vince about your creative. Tell him, you know, get him to watch Citizen Kane. That shit slaps. At least that's what my film teacher told me. Ah! Yeah, this shit is gonna be ass. Like, big, fat, stinky ass.
Break.
Oh, go break yourself, Mike Chioda. What?
Rosebud.
I didn't see a reverse flash. Rosebud? What are you talking about? Kane wasn't a rosebud, and I'm pretty sure that Hachi isn't one either. Nice. In your soiled britches, you throw a tantrum. Just like a baby. Whoa, hello! Fuck it, I'm not gonna... Dude, there's no way I'm gonna do that. How can anyone lift up Kane? How can anyone lift up Kane? It's like... It's like the singles match equivalent of who can eliminate the Big Show in the Royal Rumble. Who, I ask you? How can anyone eliminate the Big Show? Yeah, like, I need to spam, like, those mounted strikes, I feel like. Either that, or I hit him with the fishbone cracker. Ow! Don't you fucking do that shit to me, Kane. Ah! Oh, fuck. No. No! Oh, shit. Oh, no! Dude. I will not let this be the whole night. I will not let this be the entire fucking night. I spoiled a super old movie for you. Oh, Rosebud. Okay. There's a name. I just spoiled a super old movie for you. How could you? This is worse than when someone spoiled Final Fantasy VII 10 years, or rather 20 years later. Yeah, I know, right? Kane is worthy of your boost, so I get it. Kane is very much boo-worthy, so that's fine. Get bone crackered! And now, it's time for Kane's least favorite move on the planet. The gay agenda! There you go! Come on, that right there's... No! Really?! Whoa! Backbreaker! Whoa! Holy shit! Dude, Egg Hachi's on one. What an absolute Chad that Egg Hachi is. Even if you don't look like Eggman, you still look like him in our hearts. Andre Spot! No! No. Fuck you. Is getting a full WWE even do anything? No, I'm pretty sure it's just finished storage. And now, it's time for the gay agenda! Whoop! Oh no, it's gonna get broken, isn't it? No!
2, 3.
The gay agenda wins the day again! Dude, we actually fucking, that one was actually pretty clean. I was expecting that to be much harder, frankly. Wow. Okay, cool. Well, we take those. Honestly, at this point, we take those. What a glow. Exactly. He only won once in comparison to Randy Orton's, what, like 10 times? What a loser. The greatest loser of all time, in fact. Yeah, I didn't know that, like, I didn't know that, like, the Sled and Citizen Kang had a name. I didn't even know that there was a Sled and Citizen Kang. Never should have stopped masking. Brother, he fucking stopped masking because the bottom part suddenly started moving with his mouth. We saw that. That was disgusting. That was a disgusting revelation. Okay, fine. If the game's gonna counter me at every move, I will do the same to it. Counter's going up, bitch. My counter meter is going up, big style. But no, we saw, like, what happened the last time Kane tried to mask. It started moving with his mouth. Or like with the bottom of his mouth rather than staying put. And it was disgusting. The sled is made to represent Kane's childhood, the only time in his life when he was truly happy. Well, maybe he should, like, get a new sled. You know? If that's really the problem, then get a new sled. Fucking dork. Idiot. Ah, and the man I didn't even get to face in the tag match that I had with Kane. Dude, he's back! Y2J is back, dude. At least, you know what? At least I hear he's back. If anyone's in that giant crate, it's gotta be him, right? He's looking 20 years younger. Cool. So wait, do we have more pyro here, or is it just like a close-up? Oh no, it's just the bicep. Why, 2J? Why? Cool. Well, listen, I'm the champion, Jericho. What? Oh, okay. You know, I've been in this business a long you know what? This is how I know it's the opening of Raw, because he comes out with full pyro and everything. I've been in this business for a long time, and I'm getting a little tired of seeing the favoritism that some guys get around here just because they are the hot new thing. It used to be that you had to earn your shots if you wanted to make it to the top, and that's something I've done time and time again. Yet, what do I see now? I see a new guy getting an Intercontinental title shot. Then I see that same guy handed the number 29 spot at the Rumble on a silver plate. I had to work my ass off for that, Jericho. I had to work my ass off and get lucky for that. So you shove it up your hole. So you shove that shit right up your hole. Bandwidth's crashing again, I think. They open the crane, inside is actually the gobbledygooker. I mean, that's how I'll know Vince is back. And now he's set up as the #1 contender for a world title shot at WrestleMania. Well, yeah, that's because I won the Rumble. That's kind of how it works. A contender for the title that I used to hold. But the thing is, he's never proven a thing to me. He's never ever faced me one-on-one in this ring. So, Egg, yes, I'm talking to you. I think it's about time you prove to me and the world that you're worthy. Okay, it's fixed, I think. I'm pretty sure it's fixed, yeah. I'm not seeing any drops. I don't care that you chose Evolution when you first joined the WWE. I didn't choose him, bud. It was chosen for me. And I don't even care that you're the GM's new ass clown. I'm gonna show the world that you're just a spoiled brat with a silver spoon up your ass. I should be the real #1 contender. So I'm calling you out. Get your ass out here facing right now, Junior. Oh, okay, bro. Okay. Okay, we're starting out hot. We're starting out hot. We have the Intercontinental Champion going up against Chris Jericho here in the opening match. No way, dude, we have egg signs? That's crazy! Look at that! We got 3 signs that spell egg! No way! Dude, that's sick! He's awfully obsessed with Egg Hachi's ass. I mean, have you seen it? I can't blame him, frankly. I can't blame him. I mean, look at how he's strung down the aisle. Look at that. You get a whole shot there. That's crazy. This is the most built man of all time. And everywhere but the legs. He unfortunately has the chicken legs. Egg, 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 egg. Dude, do we gotta get the egg chants going here in, like, the main event of WrestleMania? Hold on just a sec. We need to fucking, I need to put on the music. Oh no, this is gonna be a reverse copy. come here. What in God's name is that? That's Akachi, you fuck. Hi. Hi, Ray J. Welcome to tonight's Envoy Club meeting. I'm gonna get the absolute piss bean out of me by Chris Jericho. That right there is Akachi, the newest member of the Giraverse. Nice, Bulldog! Built like a One Piece character. He's built... Dude, that's actually very apt. I like that. Oh boy, we're gonna take this to the outside. Fine, you know what, Jericho? If you want to go to the outside, we'll go to the fucking outside, brother. I don't mind taking it out here. I'm sure that you don't mind either. Oh, fuck. You know, that's fine. If you fucking do your thing out here, it just means that I can't... Wait. Yeah! Oh, shit! Dude! The fucking Johnny Test whip crack sound is crazy. Go touch the concrete, Johnny Test whip. It won't, dude, it's never knocked. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, alright, well, now Jericho's taking cues from me, looks like. This is, in fact, Strider music. This is from Marvel vs. Capcom 3. No! Damn. No! No! He's sent back! Come on, man! Why is this so hard now? This is, in fact, Strider music, yes. Because once upon a time, I did kind of play Marvel vs. Capcom 3 semi-seriously. Ow. Plus, it also has just a goated soundtrack, so... So, you know. Game's gotta recognize game. Like this right here, right?
Hello, Mario.
You just got, like, you know, the reverse cheese going on here. Also, hi there, Patootie. How are you? I'm in the ropes, ref! Please! Dude, I may as well just quit. I may as well just fucking quit, honestly. I may as well just quit here. Like, look at that. Red body already. Momentum shift! Get fucked by my fork, you idiot. Like, look at this. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter that I did the momentum shift. He's already back up to speed. Already, he's back up to speed. Because the AI is a cheating bitch that just reverses all of my shit. God, she survives, but for how long? Hold on. I need this to be going... Are we gonna view cutscenes from this moment forward? I might just, depending. like, off YouTube. I don't know. I don't... Because a large part of me wants to see this through. But, like, I also don't want us to be on the same shit every time. Are they chanting holy shit for him? Are they chanting holy shit for the one egg Hachi? But yeah, depending on how bad this gets, yes, cutscenes from this point forward. Because it is getting unfairly hard. Look at that. Look at that. He already has a finisher. I cannot compete against that. I can't compete against an AI that just reverses all my shit. Every single thing. It's like 75%. Striptease. There you go. What are you saying damn bro for? I pressed L. I pressed fucking L. Look at that. Once I escape, he's already gonna have another one ready to go, basically. You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna try to pin off that. Nah, there was no way he was gonna do that. But I wanted to try. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna go straight for the goddamn... Bone Cracker! And now the gay agenda. Whack. Oh, hold on, no, we're just gonna go for the pen. Or we would. That's it. What the hell? Dude, it really got me fucking tweaking over here. Why, Day of Reckoning. You shouldn't have. I'm sorry, dude. I don't have time to read that right now. Give me just a second. That's a big comment.
Break.
What's that to say? That's a fucking rope break, Mike, and don't you fucking try to screw me on that. Don't fuck on me, ref.
One, two.
I was about to say, if you pin me off of that, that's bullshit. That is not a reversal, dude. There you go. There you go. Missile freaking drop kick. He immediately just snuck it in. What? That's in the ropes! I have an idea for a pre or post stream activity we could do if you'd ever want to do it. I have a playlist of old commercials, and some of the videos on the playlist include old WWE commercials. We could watch along those commercials if that sounds interesting to you. I don't really want to do commercial watch alongs on stream, dude. If I do anything like... If I had those for anything, it would be the in-between stuff. If I wanted to watch stuff with you guys, I would do it on the Discord. But if you send me it, I will maybe do it for the actual commercial breaks on stream. We aren't worthy of that crown. Dude, it's looking fucking like that. Kali here to... Like that one with Triple H telling Boss, Kali here to check your prostate. Ray J, what the fuck are you talking about? I was about to say, don't you do it. That's me right now. Mr. Pouty Pants. Vince told Cena to tell others Raw starts at 8, but he didn't listen fully. What? No. No! Please! I've been doing so good this attempt, too!
Break.
I am getting dangerously close to just saying fuck this, and we're just gonna watch the cutscenes. Because... like I said before, I don't want to be frustrated on stream. Because that's not fun. I don't have fun when I'm just beating my head against walls. I have fun when I'm progressing games. Because then I don't interact with you guys as much. How about this? You get lives to every match. What? What do you mean? What, like, I give, like, a match a few tries? And if I run out of tries in that match, then we just stop playing? I don't know, just, like... I've not given up on a wrestling game since 2K20. I don't want to do that here, especially when I, you know, generally like this more than 2K20. May not have a choice, honestly. What system is this game for? It was GameCube. Match skip is not a thing here. Yeah. I cannot skip a match, brother. It's the game's way or the highway. Gonna be fucked up, Eikachi. Hot take, No Mercy is not as good as SVR 6. I agree with you, actually. I enjoyed the SVR games largely more than the N64 games. Honestly, yes, a valid hot take. Because I think that No Mercy is largely very slow. Okay, you bitch! Reversing my finishers. What? Dude, did you Dude, did you watch, like, my body damage there? I hate your guts, Jericho. I genuinely do. I hope my wrestling fandom as a whole, the Blockbuster and SVR 06. I owe it to SVR 08, which is not the best game, granted. God damn it. That's it, dude. I lost. Again. Oh wait, hold on! Holy shit. No! Oh my god. Get surfboard stretch, you idiot. Get stretched, you moron. We might have a chance.
1, 2.
That was bullshit. No, come on! I'm giving it one more try. I'm giving this shit one more try. I'm giving it one more shot. Go back to Toronto. I mean Winnipeg, jerk. From Winnipeg, you idiot. Fuck you and your Johnny Test Whip cracks. You eat my kick, you idiot. No. Waste your finisher, you bitch. Okay, fine. That's okay. That's not okay. Waste it, waste it, waste it. Nice. Okay. And he grapple. He fucking reverses. All of it. Those whip cracks are Canadian. They really are. They are the most Canadian whip cracks of all time. Which makes sense when this... Which makes sense when you consider that this game was made in Japan.
Break.
Like... Eat this. Eat this shit. Nice. Get pile driven, you dummy. Then I'll beat your face in. This AI is playing like its job is on the line. For real. I know! Dude, that's how it's been ever since Randy Orton. That's genuinely how it's been ever since we faced Randy. The AI has just had our number. God damn it. SNK levels of AI fuckery. I know! Like, look at that. No body damage to red body damage in a single finisher. That's crazy. Alright, we're just gonna do this, and then we're just gonna fucking pin him. There. One. No! You fucking sell this shit, you motherfucker! Dude, if I missed the Bashams, fine. You know what? I fucking missed the Bashams, too. I really hope that Danny, whichever one that is, and Doug, whichever one that is, are doing fine right now. They probably don't have to put up with this shit. They're in the mid-card.
Break.
Oh my god. Do we have
It's
a chance?
almost time for a 2.5-minute Cheetos break.
Do I have a mod in here? Can you snooze that, please? I'm locked in. Fuck! You know what? I'm not doing that. You don't get to do that to me. Fuck it. This right here is what we're doing now. Listen, it works! It fucking works! Okay, now it's not gonna work. I fucked myself. No! Not the stomp! Okay. Dude, this right here's what we're doing now. Is it cheap? Yes, but this game is being cheap, so fuck it. Turnabout's fair play. You're gonna have a crash out. Dude, I've been crashing out for the past, like, 30 minutes over Chris Jericho. I'm surprised that we beat Kane in, like, 2 tries. Like, that there had to have been, like, a freak accident. Because that was insanely easy, all things considered. Eat my fish bone cracker, you idiot. That's not a rope break. No, you bitch. You bitch. You bitch. You bitch. You bitch. No. You fucking... One more try. One more try. Chad, hold me to that. This is the last try, okay? Hold me to that. This is the last try. I gotta do it to the best music in MVC3. Spider-Man. Okay, great start. Dude, every match is defeat the streak PTSD. You're right. That's that, but for every match. It feels like. Like, the fact I'm doing this decent early on, freak accident. Right now, the computer should be, like, reversing all my shit. But for whatever reason, the game is just being gracious to me right now. I know who GirafaStev's favorite wrestler is. Who? Fucking Danny Basham? Because honestly, he's... You know what? Honestly, Danny Bash was my ride or die now. I miss him a lot, dude. I miss him like Eggman misses his wife. Like, look at this! How is he not reversing everything? Like, is the game taking mercy on me now? Really? Now you're going out the ring, you bitch. Okay. No, it's Bash and Booger. I mean, listen, man. We're in the Long Boy Club. We fuck heavy with Bash and Booger. Okay? I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, gay agenda time. Ow. God damn it. Okay, fine. You know what? Nope. Nope, I'm, Chris Jericho.
It's almost time for a 2.5 minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
But, like, not here. Here, what is he doing? None but pissing me off. Okay, and now we're back to the bullshit. I'm just gonna let him ride this out. No. Real wrestling gamers play Legends of Wrestling Showdown on Xbox. Maybe I should play that next, dude. It cannot be as hard as this. Surely. Okay, fine. You know what? I'll take the dragon screw if you just don't do that. No! Sunday night Grand Slam. Fuck. No, that was on Saturday night. If you'll remember. Like, look at that! One move! And I'm already at red body damage! How?
Break!
And I have to get... Dude, and I have to suffer the rope break. This is bleak. No, why didn't I just let him fucking ride it out? Come on, no! This right here is dystopian. I'm mashing the A button like my life depends on it. I'm done. Done. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it, man. I can't fucking do it. Time for cheat codes. If you got cheat codes, lay them on me, brother. Because holy shit. I can't mash anymore. It's genuinely hurting me. I cannot mash anymore. It's genuinely hurting my fingers. I can't do it. Not even Action Replay kind of cheats for DOR1, just 2. I've not done this before, dude. I've not done this since 2K20. I mean, I don't want to quit, but, like, I don't want to have a bad time tonight. You know? It's like, what do we do about this, is the question. Do we just watch the cutscenes and insert Egg Hachi into them? Is that what we do now? Because I'll be honest, chat, I don't want to keep playing this. I just played Defeat the Streak again to get the achievement. I mean, like, listen, man. It can't be harder than this. Yeah, sit down, bud. You did well. You did okay. But, like, what do we do from here? Play an exhibition match and pretend it's the grand finale. That's a great idea. That is an outstanding idea, I feel like. Hold on. Wow. Okay, now I know how this game got longevity. It's because they made every match fucking hard. They're missing quite a few arenas from this, are they? Right? Like, they're missing quite a few from this lineup, I feel like. I tried Diesel. I mean, we haven't done the SmackDown route, I think. I don't want to do the entire game again just to do the SmackDown route.
It's almost time for a 2.5 minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
It's probably going to be the same thing. It's probably going to be this, but, like, just swap out certain wrestlers for others. You know? Or just swap out Raw guys for SmackDown guys.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Raw rolls on after this, or at least it's going to try to.
And now we're going to power up the Virtual Boy. Virtual Boy has 3 major components: the stand, the head unit, and the controller. The stand is packed.
We could always make another character.
Stand, spread it open, and then set it firmly on the table.
The Undertaker on Legendary is one of his victims in his past WrestleMania.
Got to be connected with a controller.
There ain't shit for codes, unfortunately.
Into the spot on the head unit, and
Alright, I'm getting the match set up, chat.
Now, take your head unit, place it into the support bracket. You want to be very careful and do it gently from the back. So you tilt it in first, then push it down. There's a little spring in the back here that you can push down to open up the support bracket so it doesn't go in tightly. Release the spring, and then gently tighten it up with a tension control knob here on the side. Once you feel tension, just turn it slightly upwards until it catches. You don't need a lot of tension here. It just needs to support itself. The next thing you want to do is load in your batteries. Your batteries are in the controller on the front panel. Press the panel down, gently push it up, and your batteries will load into the slot here, 3 up and 3 down.
Oh, shit.
Push it down, click it in place, and then you're ready to go. The final thing is to put your game cartridge into place. The game cartridge goes into the slot underneath the Virtual Boy. Now you have to be careful when you push the game cartridge in. You want to make sure that it connects firmly all the way in the back, because if it doesn't connect properly, when you turn it on, you won't get anything. So you want to make sure that the game cartridge is in place properly, so when you turn it on...
Nowadays, you don't need to know any of this because
Virtual Boy does not have a video
you got
Mario.
the Switch 2 expansion. Apparently, it's just as weird as it was back in 1990, whatever. 94, I think?
Combine 2 separately projected LED images from both sides. What we're showing you here is some exclusive footage of some of the upcoming Virtual Boy games. We obtained this footage with our cameras at E3, so please be aware that the images captured here do not in
I have an
any way
idea,
recreate
chat.
the actual three-dimensional elements of the game's graphics and gameplay. So far,
So I
we've
know
played
that
Mario's
we've-
Tennis, Galactic Pinball.
So I know I
Alarm,
said
and
that
Flower
I've-
Boxer. So stick around and see our ratings on all these games and more.
Om nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Welcome back to Raw. Fuck. I can't change the weight class in season mode. I want to try and change Akachi's weight class in season mode, but I can't do that. I can't do that. I wanted to try and see if, you know, the game would let me do it. But it will not let me do it because I am willing to bet you anything that story
Hello,
mode
Mario.
is easier. Because I'm willing to bet you anything that season mode is easier when you play as someone that is not a lightweight. Also, hi Dark Raven, welcome on into tonight's Longboy Club meeting. Alright. So, I'm surprised you made him light class, TBH. I mean, like...
It's almost time for 2.5-minute Dunkin' Donuts break, my dudes.
I mean, I did it because, you know, I thought the proportions and the weight were kind of a funny juxtaposition. But I didn't expect it to get this hard, you know? With no way to change it. Alright. Did Egg finish his story? No, he fucking didn't. Wow, that overall number for Triple H. Dude, Triple H would be absolutely rocking my shit if we got there. Egg got jobbed out multiple times. It was actually, like, impressive how badly he got jobbed out. Alright. Here, we're just gonna do the match here. Let's actually, hold on. I'm gonna back out real fast, because I want to put this on normal mode, right? Because right now I put it on easy, with the assumption that it would carry over into story mode, but obviously it did not. So, we're gonna put that shit back on normal, and we're gonna compare. Okay? Yeah, we're putting that shit back on normal, and we're gonna compare. Garrison who? Never heard of this man. Gonna be honest with y'all. Yeah, they were foreshadowing goddamn This is not awesome. We're copping out, dude. I've not copped out in quite a while. But here I am doing it anyway. Where's Hornswoggle when you need him? I need to call that run in, brother. Oh my god, I forgot how great his entrance is. Look at this shit, chat. Coming out of the steam, because now he's hard-boiled. Hard-boiled egg Hachi. With the bash of Titantron, you fucking know this is how we run. You can see, like, where the set ends. How goes it? I mean, like, I feel pretty fucking defeated, dude. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I feel pretty goddamn deflated right now. But we need to at least, like, do the mock ending here. There he is. Triple H looks like an angry basset hound. Alright. Let him get his fucking WrestleMania entrance in. Yeah, Triple H does look like a dog in this, doesn't he? Don't know how they got his nose into the game. I still don't know how they got his nose into the game. I can't listen to this thing now without thinking of that NL bit. I forgot this was GameCube WrestleMania 20. Can you take him? I mean, we're about to find out, dude. Maybe we can when the AI isn't a cheating bitch. But let's see. Patooey. Oh man, the fade? That's how you know it's fancy. No, I understand that you can't think of Triple H without doing the NL bit. That's fine. It's a good bit. Man, they gave him his whole entrance and everything. No other entrance in this game is this long, chat. What's this? This was like after his... I mean, like, this is where his reign of terror ended, at this pay-per-view, really. I wonder if he's ever choked on the water. Oh, absolutely he has, I'd imagine. Alright, we're gonna treat this like big final boss thing, okay? Of course I did, he's burying you. Triple H stands for Haunted House, Helmsley. Like, look at this, chat. Do you want to see how easy I'm gonna beat Triple H here?
Break.
I just want you to take this in, okay? I want you to take in everything that's about to happen. Like, at this point, Triple H would have reversed, like, at least 8 out of 10 of the moves I'm throwing. In story mode. I bet you didn't account for this in your stupid simulations, you bitch. Because you seem to think this is a laughing matter, but there's nothing funny about Egg Hachi. Look at him. There's nothing funny about him. You're shooting on him? I am, though. Eat the fishbone cracker, you idiot! Dude, this is me shooting on Day of Reckoning in general, for fucking real. Like, I'm not even doing moves, I'm just punching the shit out of them. No. Eat my fucking thing, dude. Eat the gay agenda!
One, two, three.
Cinema. That was cinema right there. Dude. They did Triple H's entrance so long because they knew that he was going away. Ryback punching the air right now. I mean, I'm sure he's sitting cozy with all of his goddamn dietary supplements. Yay, he won the World Heavyweight Championship. Yay! Yay! Yay, he did it. You buttered Stev's last biscuit game. And Triple H lost his loser leaves child match. So get out of our company. This was secretly a loser leaves child match. Ryback is on Hulk Hogan's injectable vitamin. No, did you know that, dude? Did you know that Ryback has his own supplements? They're called Feed Me More. Hold on. Maybe he stopped selling them, but I need to make sure. I'm looking it up. Ryback supplements. Dude, the very first thing I get is Factor. Oh my god. Dude, he still has them. He still has it. Ryback chips. They feed you more. Stay retired, Ryback. It's the best sleep for everyone. Which I doubt anyone actually uses, LMFAO. I mean, don't they? Because he's been selling this shit for like years. Someone's got to be buying it, dude. Otherwise, he wouldn't be selling it. Right? Here. Hold on. Because, you know, admittedly, I'm a gym guy, right? I got pre-workout. I got protein powder. I like me a Quest bar. So how about this? Ryback supplements as a bit of a distraction from what's currently happening on the stream. Look at this. This is wake up energy. Don't do it. This is no, chat, understand. This is wake up unlimited energy with the fucking like Sonic R styled R. Take it in YouTube, will go ball. Dude, I'm already fucking there. Wake up! Unlimited energy. Clean energy. No crash. No artificial fucking junk. Natural energy powered by stevia and monk fruit. Zero sugar. Built for real performance. Look at these. Look at these Media Cloud athletes here. Buy one and Ryback comes to spear you for free. AKA no fake BP. Dude, no way. Dude, the wake up unlimited energy #1 stevia and monk fruit pre-workout energy drink in the world is sold out. Wow. But it's only for like the blue men and the red women, so apparently there's a demographic for this. The big guy male performance formula? Okay, chat. They want to, like, make it clear. Where do you fall? Being purple and all. I mean, like, listen, right? I think that when you combine blue and red, you've got purple. And considering that I have they, them pronouns along with he, him pronouns, this shit is built just for me. You know? This shit right here, it's built just for me. Because it honestly doesn't matter what parts I have. Although if you're a woman, then you got one product here that's not for you. Sorry, ladies. How about supplements? Is there anything in here that's just for women? It doesn't look like it. Color me shocked. 1, 2, 3 muscle joint tendon support. Dude. Okay, so hold on. Dark Raven. Buff women do not exist, apparently. No, absolutely. Do not, I repeat, do not look at Bianca Belair, or Willow Nightingale, or goddamn Rhea Ripley. I'd rather get speared by Braun Breaker full speed than do protein shakes. I'm insane. Or Jordan Grace! Or Jordan Grace! How could I forget Jordan fucking Grace? I want to know how many they ingest this and become men. It helps with transition. Dude, he should put that on the goddamn thing. Like sell that's like a pro-trans product. I hope that didn't come off as transphobic. If it did, then my bad. No. It's lighthearted. Maybe he should market it as that. He might finally sell his backstock. Hold on. I want to see how many, like, servings this has. 30 servings per container. I'd say that's... I mean, that's still a lot. But that's probably about how much it costs for, like, a good, like... You know, like, pre-workout supplement. Used to play Storm in the MCU. I mean, that would be, like, probably her first real film role, you know? Because largely why she went to WWE was so she could branch out. And that hasn't happened. Unfortunately. But yeah, we got, like, creatine here. 10 count creatine. How much is in this? 30? Well, you know, that's about as much as you would that's about as much as you'd probably be spending, frankly. Because, like, have you seen, like, protein powder? That shit is expensive. Powdered protein. Now, this stuff right here probably tastes like chalk.
Hello, Mario.
Oh, hey, you got, like, multiple flavors here? Or just... Oh, it's just the one flavor. Hi, Fluffy Sparkster. How you doing tonight? Welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. This friggin' protein powder, I can almost guarantee you, tastes like grounded up chalk. Why I feel like Ryback is secretly watching this stream. It wouldn't surprise me, dude. I mean, like, dude, Ray J, I looked at your name and I thought that you were Ryback for a sec, and I was about to, like, go into fight or flight mode. All protein food tastes like crap, in my opinion. You haven't had good protein food, then. Because, like, there's actually, like, some pretty good stuff out there. Like, have you ever tried, like, Bear Bells? Because that shit tastes really good. They have, like, a chocolate dough one that's, like, indiscernible from, like, an actual chocolate bar. It's really good. Right back coming through the screen to botch the spear right now. Did he do a spear? Was that one of his things? Finish it. BCAA electrolyte protein. Or matrix. Sleep formula. Go to sleep formula. Sometimes. Really need to get Bear Bells at some point. Though it is a bit expensive from what I remember. See, like, that's the real problem with, like, with, like, protein-based food. Or at least, like, food that, like, kind of substitutes a lot of the artificial stuff with protein is that a lot of it is pretty expensive. Ghost Sleep Formula sounds like a CM Punk drink. I mean, like, this right here is targeted. This right here is targeted harassment. I have to tell you right now. This right here, he named this out of spite, hoping that CM Punk would notice him. But, like, I don't think CM Punk even knows that this exists. I wonder if anyone has ever asked CM Punk about that, because this right here, this shit is targeted harassment. This is sinister fucking shit. To be fair, it's not hard to get noticed by CM Punk. No, it's not. No, it's not. If you attack his ego, that's crucial. That is very crucial. Ryback is a tsundere, confirm. Dude, he's been like that for like years, frankly. Can you buy their entire stock for the Long Boy Club? Absolutely, dude. No. Anyways, just popping in for a bit while SmackDown is airing. Being mid as usual. You should watch Dynamite. Because that wasn't mid. We had the Swerve Strickland heel turn. And that was pretty sick as fuck. Honestly. Dude, we did one match tonight. But no, like, GTS...
Don't buy these, father. Unlike the Cheeto cookies, this would be a bad investment. No Cheeto protein dust.
You know what? No, I'm not gonna say it because I'm gonna immediately take it back. If they made Cheetos protein dust, I and only I would try it. Just for the bit, okay? Just for the fucking bit, I would try it. But, like, everyone else would not buy it, and rightfully so, because that sounds awful. That sounds awful. Hey, kids, you want cheese dust in your milk? Like, we're not even, like, talking about, like, the Cheetos cookie that slapped. We're talking about, like, just... Like, if you took the dust that's on Cheetos, and you put it in, like, a consistency of a protein powder. Like... That's what I'm thinking about right now. Like hell, there's Fruity Pebble... It's possible. Like hell, there's Fruity Pebble protein powder. Yeah, but like, Fruity Pebbles is cereal. You know? That's stuff that goes with milk. Right? Who has milk with Cheetos and dips them in there by choice? Besides me. Who does that? You know? It would be extremely tailor-made and ergo expensive. Exactly! It would be made for me and me only.
You forget me, father. Like you always do.
I'm sorry, Homunculus. You would also buy, you know, the rest of the stock that I don't buy. Apologies. Inventory clearance. Dude, how much of this shit is on clearance? You got the hope spot. Mood and stress support. This feels dangerous. This shit right here feels dangerous. I'm not taking a mental health supplement from Ryback. You know? That's not gonna happen. Sorry. What about brain feed? High-powered brain support? $50 for a mental health supplement? Dude, it's... No, you're thinking about... Oh no, you're right, that is $50. $50?! How much am I paying? $30? For a serving size of 3 capsules? Nah, dude, that's sinister. That right there is sinister shit. Although I guess if you use the discount code HUNGRY50 at checkout, that $50 will turn into $25. You get less risky mental health care from ASMR. I know! Like, I would not... Like, listen. Protein powder? Sure, I'll bite, maybe, like, once. This is not it, Chief. That's not it at all. At all. I am not trusting that with anything in me. You know? Especially when it's $30, especially when it's $25, $50 without the code. And then you get only 10 servings worth out of the whole container. Do not consume more than 60 more than 6 capsules in a 24-hour period, or else you'll die. If you do 60, you will be super dead. You will never come back. You will dude, if you do 60, you'll think you're Ryback. And then you'll try to get CM Punk's attention, and then it won't happen. Is the shipping even free? I don't know, and I don't want to check. Oh, this, the Feed Me More towel. How much is this? Aren't these supplements dangerous because they're not regulated by the FDA, and ergo you don't know what they put in there beyond what's on the supplement label? Dude, that's a very good question, actually. Hold on. About this. Let's look up at the Wake Up pre-workout energy drink. Let's see. I'm not seeing it, dude. I'm willing to... Dude, I'm willing to bet this shit is not FDA approved. If I'm gonna... Like, I'm gonna be 1,000 with you, dude. Mission statement. Newsletter, blogs. Feed Me More Nutrition team. Supporters. Merch. Dude. About Ryback. Membership levels. There's Feed Me, then the premium Feed Me More. Then the premium Feed Me More membership. Dude, are there goddamn memberships on this? Can I become a Ryback member? Goodness gracious. I don't... Dude. This is awful formatting. Oh goodness. Wow. A message from Ryback. FAQs. What about this? FAQs. Dude, I'm not seeing anything in here about, like, FDA approval. This shit is pretty sketch, if I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. About me. The big guy. Trademark? Okay. Got you, brother. Thank you for stopping by feedmemore.com. My name is Ryback Reeves. To be fair, the supplement thing is a general thing, not just Ryback stuff. Yeah, that's fair. But, like... If I can go in there and buy Premier Protein at Walmart, then maybe this isn't as bad. I'm extremely passionate. Oh. And Feed Me More Nutrition is one of the things I'm extremely passionate about. Our goal is to give you ultra premium supplements that work at an affordable price. Okay, got it. Whoa. Whoa. Dude, this shit looks like it was made in, like, HTML. This thing looks like it was made in, like, Dreamweaver, I think is what it was called. This is some crazy formatting. I'd buy that for $50 with formatting like this. Unfortunately, the supplement business is like the majority of businesses in life where there is a mix of some good and a lot of bad. I can't control what other businesses do, but I can control what we do here at Feed Me More Nutrition. Our price margins are much lower than most supplement companies, and this isn't my main source of income. Then what is? I truly despise what most supplement companies do by producing dirt cheap supplements that don't work and selling them for high price margins, underdosing their supplements, using performance enhanced bodybuilders, athletes, and figure models to promote their brand, and a host of other lies and deception to trick you into a one-time buy of their supplements. I've created a brand that I am proud of and want you to feel comfortable returning time and time again, because you know you can trust and count on Feed Me More Nutrition. All of our supplements are free of artificial sweeteners and colors, minus the red top Wake Up Ultimate Energy, rather unlimited energy. And we use more natural, proven ingredients to help you reach your fitness goals. Get hungry, stay hungry, feed me more. All right. I'm just doing some research. Somewhat unsurprisingly, Ryback blames the WWE and Triple H for getting into steroids. Okay, so, like, listen, right? I think that when he talks about using performance-enhanced bodybuilders, athletes, and figure models, this is the pot calling the kettle black. Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, I feel like that, you know, I don't think that in wrestling there's nothing wrong with using steroids as long as it's responsible. But come on, man. Look at you. You know? So what he's really saying is he wants the middleman cut out. He'll sell it, not the companies. I guess so. But, like, I don't know. I wouldn't want Ryback, According to Ryback, he used testosterone and steroids 5 years before his WWE run. Here, just to make sure. Ryback speaks about past steroid use. Okay, so that was like 15 years ago then. So maybe it's not like a too like recent thing, but still, it is funny. Anyways, chat, I'm gonna be honest with you, I want to give it one more shot. I want to give it one more try. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know, maybe I'm just a glutton for punishment. But I want to give it one more shot. Now that we know what normal is supposed to feel like, I want one more. Let me back in, coach. Let me back in. I don't know what you could do, TBH. Just get good, I guess. Just get good. Other than restart the story with fixed settings. And I don't really want to do that. We've already done this for like a month and a half. I don't want to go through all of that. You know. I think you got this. I don't like my chances. But I'm willing to give it a shot. I will give it one more go. One more for the boys. One more for the fucking boys. Alright, I'm locking in. Let's do it. I'm locking in. Nice. Surfboard stretch. That's gonna be a rope break. Oh wait, no, hold on.
It's almost time for a
Snooze
2.5 minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Snooze that shit. No. Maybe I have done a bit too much where he's just not really excelling at anything. That's a break, yeah.
Make America giraffes again.
That'd be awesome. Make Raw Giraffe again. No way! What? Give me my fucking flowers! Dude, we can't say make anything great again for a long time. Don't make anything again. Like, that's gonna take generations of healing for us to be able to say shit like that again. Good lord. Ric Flair! I'm being sneaky! Ah! I gotcha! I gotcha, kid! And now you're gonna take my figure 4! Or maybe I'll just do that and grab the mic. Woo! You may have gotten lucky winning the Royal Rumble 2 weeks ago, but now that you're the #1 contender, you got a bigger target on your back than ever. You think you're gonna waltz right into WrestleMania, the granddaddy of them all, and have a chance against the World Heavyweight Champion, Triple H? Well, think again. To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And right now, that man is Triple H. And after WrestleMania, that man will still be Triple H. You might as well hang him up, because when you get one-on-one against the cerebral assassin, you have no chance to win. Woo! Christopher Walken Flair. Time to break her wife's walls. Dude, elder fight? Hachi is not old. He just looks old. How about no acronyms that include America other than... No, none. None at all. None at all. None at all. None at all. Not until we get a lot of things fixed. Man, Triple H... Man, Flair became a total suck-up for Triple H. Jesus, he did! Dude, this would have been goddamn The Big Show in... Dude, I struggle to imagine how The Big Show is in Flair's position in the SmackDown version of this mode. That's funny as fuck. Dude, the idea of him, like, sneaking into the ring and low-blowing me is unrealistic, but something I would love to see nonetheless. Because the idea that I defeat, you know, like, Jericho's equivalent on SmackDown, and then right after that, the Big Show, like, fucking tiptoes into the ring, right? Which, first of all, the idea of tiptoeing into the ring is funny as fuck to me. Can you dig it, sucker? To cap off the Imagine being a rookie for a match, and the first thing you hear, well, you're just cooked. I know! You can't beat Kurt Angle. Now I'm gonna go cause I'm hungry. You can't beat Kurt Angle. No. On SmackDown, it would be The Undertaker. Big Show would be looking his most hungry in the story mode of this game. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's almost time for a 2.5-minute Cheetos break,
right.
my
we
dudes.
Need to run the ad. Sorry, chat. Well, victory ad. It's time. It's time. Oh, hey!
It's break time.
Sean!
Where the heck's
Okay,
the
I'll be back in a
Cheetos,
second,
my
chat.
dudes?
Hints if you need them. Earthbound is an easy RPG, but Nintendo wanted the game to be easy so it provide constant, uninterrupted fun. Earthbound has so many comic elements to it that Nintendo doesn't want you to give up on the game and never see those funny scenes. Earthbound is the first RPG to be set in modern times. You save your progress by calling your dad over the telephone and refill your energy by eating pizza. Speaking of pizza, you can play the game with your left hand and eat pizza in the other, since the game can be controlled with the L button, which lets you talk and check, otherwise known as search, and the control pad to move. Prepare to visit several places: a clubhouse, arcade, burger shop, theater, Loch Ness Lake, dinosaur museum, hospital, drugstore, Stonehenge, a police station, library, a park, city hall, preschool, a bakery, laboratory, tents, caves, inns, a desert, a beach resort, grocery store, a snake shop, and Saturn Valley. Watch out for Master Belch. You may have smelled him before. Bottom line, the battles and the HP elements seem out of place, but the psychic experience points fit the Earthbound mold well. The game is easy, but you should consider buying it just because it's really innovative. Earthbound is the first RPG set in modern times. The graphics are impressive
Twitch hates
artistically,
butts,
but
chat.
not technically. The humor makes the game interesting.
Chat, I got a granola bar and I'm feeling like Ryback over here eating the potato chips. Peak Angle. Kurt said he doesn't like Perk Angle as a nickname, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure he doesn't like it. But, like, you know, a lot of people still use it. I'm fine with calling him Peak Angle, though. Because he was Peak. Listen.
Nom nom.
Captain
Oh,
Kirk
excuse me,
Angle.
we're back, my dudes.
Welcome back to Raw. All I'm gonna say right now, chat, is... Ryback, if you somehow find this, right? Which, you know, me saying this is gonna be, you know, null and void after I accuse you of being on steroids, which you most likely are. But if you want to prove me wrong about your supplements, I'd be more than happy to try them. With this music, it sounds like HBK and Akachi are gonna kiss. This is the fishing music from Sonic Frontiers. Cover Sev's mouth. He didn't mean it, Ryback. It's the Yowie we've been waiting for. Dude, more... Again, wrestling needs to be more gay. I keep saying it, dude. How many times do I gotta fucking say it? Wrestling needs to be more gay. Look, Egg, you and I have a one-on-one match tonight. I want you to know, I'm not going to make it easy on you. If I take you down, I could be next in line for a title shot after WrestleMania. I expect nothing less from a guy like you, Shawn Michaels. I'm sure that you didn't make a name for yourself in the WWE by half-assing it. It's an honor to be facing off with you tonight, but I expect you to give me your worst. Wouldn't it be give me your best? Look, I have no problem with you personally. This is just business. You and I are after the same thing, that's all. I think we respect each other here. But when we get in that ring, you and I both know all bets are off. Whoa! Hey! Hey, you! Hey! Holy shit, that actually, like, scared me. Wow. Ah, dude! Dude, all of his weight is on the neck. No! Not my arm!
Hello, Mario.
Ah, my bicep! Shit! Not, dude, not the Jake Doyle injury. Fuck. Hi, Woobs. How you doing? Welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. Triple H jump scare Ryback's nightmare. You will take steroids right now. In general, I don't have, you know, a problem with wrestlers using steroids or anything. Just like, you know, like if you are, just say so or don't say anything at all. Don't try to like say, oh, well, I'm better than these guys because, you know, they're on the juice. I'm not. Just seems like an odd flex. Why was Rick's hand down your crotch? Down your crotch? The yowie, dude! It continues. Also, hi, Woos. Welcome on into tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. Does HBK need to be more gay even if he loves the ladies? Dude, listen, there's nothing more heterosexual than loving the ladies, okay? Like, look at that, right there. Why doesn't he do that for the guys? You know? He did pose for Playgirl. Yeah, but like, listen, that's women. You know? HBK's only got eyes for the Lord these days. That's very true, but does the Lord swing that way? I don't know if he does. We have bisexual Undertaker, but where's bisexual Shawn Michaels? I don't want to say Kenny Omega because Kenny doesn't have Shawn's moveset really much at all. Quick, who's bisexual and does super kicks and elbow drops? Who does those two things? Wait, bisexual Undertaker? They're talking about Damian Priest. Rico. I'm the bull cracker. I'm the bull cracker. I'm the come from behind on the back attacker. Dude, we've become big fans of the bone cracker throughout this entire playthrough. We take it to calling Egg here, Egg Hachi, the fish bone cracker. I don't know, chat. You know what? After a rocky match with Jericho, I think we're back in this shit, frankly. I think we're back. We're back, chat. But I'm still gonna lock in. Because Shawn is probably gonna be even harder. No, you bitch! Oh! Hey! Now this right here is it. Aw, yeah, anal. Nice. Yeah, like, we all don't have any damage. Yeah, that was just, like, a thing that occurred. We're not selling it at all. Raw 2 theme? Is this the Raw 2 theme? Because I know it as one of the match themes for Here Comes the Pain. But if it's also the Raw 2 theme, then based. Yeah, like, look at this. I'm taking HBK to task here. This is much easier. Dude, what the fuck? Is there WWE fanfiction? Yes, by sheer probability, there's gotta be some fanfiction out there. I mean, listen, WWE fanfiction is just booking your own shit. You know? All booking simulators is you writing your own WWE fanfiction. You know? The gay agenda! Here we go. The Shield alone has probably got dozens of fanfics. Oh yeah. Assuming your EFED is related to the WWE and not its own thing. Well, listen. It's 2005. It's mid-2005 TNA. Who's to say I can't make it gay? In 2005, you know? Who's to say it can't be gay in 2005? Besides the culture not being ready to accept it. TNA. Cross the line. The rainbow line. Dude, they're fucking with HBK hard. Maybe he should go to WrestleMania, not me. Oh, shit! No, don't you disqualify me, ref. Please don't. Okay, good. In the cover, deep! Dude, why is it so easy now? Forbidden love. Or forbidden cake. Dude, why is it so easy now? So that's what they mean by the Forbidden Tour. Yeah, because they're all finally coming out of the closet. I'm happy for them. You locked in without realizing. Dude. The game is having mercy on you. We had Billy and Chuck, basically a gay tag team that's still my top 5 tag teams ever. Yeah, but that was like played for a joke. You know? Up until recently, especially in like AEW, if someone was queer coded, then, you know, it was like played for laughs, you know? My little hand! No! No, what? Fuck you, man. Ah! Dookie. Back. Dude, that's bullshit. We're all just getting up. Since one of my responsibilities around here is to maintain order, it seems I need to address a little issue that concerns you 3 gentlemen. Eric Biscoff, why? It seems like all 3 of you had the same aspirations in mind, and that's a problem. Is it? See, Egg earned his title shot fair and square when he won the Royal Rumble. In fact, the only way that he could possibly lose his opportunity to face Triple H at WrestleMania would be if he were injured and unable to perform. So keeping that in mind, and keeping in mind that another significant part of my duties as GM is to ensure that we keep our fans entertained, here's what I have in mind. I see a match. Yes, next week. I see it now. You, Egg, versus Ric Flair, versus Shawn Michaels, versus World Heavyweight Champ Triple H in a fatal 4-way. Now, don't worry, Egg. Clearly, we must play by the rules, so regardless of who wins, you will not lose your title shot. But as to what shape you show up in at WrestleMania, that will be up to you 4 gentlemen to decide. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why? Eric, why would you do that? Why would you book something like that? Why? Why would you book something like that? You know they're just gonna gang up on us. You know what? Fuck Eric Biscoff. Fuck him big style. I think that's the plan. Dude, this is gonna turn into like a triple threat match, but like one side is like a tag team, you know? It's like a 1v1v2, you know? Like there's no way that they're not gonna try and gang up on us. We may as well make this a tag team match. He's bought off by Evolution, just like Mike Chioda. He's been bought off by fucking Evolution. Dude, everyone has been bought out by Evolution. What is happening here? Okay, fine. Well, you know what? We're gonna go in and we're gonna counter crazy style. 9 counter. Including Chris Jericho! Dude, Triple H gave him some of Ryback's goddamn pre-workout and he was a beast. No wonder I beat Shawn so easy. He didn't get that pre-workout juice. You know? No wonder I beat Shawn Michaels. Triple H would never give him that shit. But Chris Jericho, oh boy. You know that he's got the Iggy on that. You know? You know that he's got the figgy on, you know that he's got the Iggy on that feed me more nutrition pre-workout. His bones are filled with meat on the table. Yeah, that's what you are. Speaking of, on the table, I have food. Rhea Ripley x Chris Statlander Yuri fanfic. That sounds awesome. Wow. Every time. Okay. The reason I called you here is that I want to discuss tonight's match. I've already spoken to Triple H separately, because I figure at this point there's no way to have your undivided attention if both of you guys are in the same room. Now, I know that you and Triple H don't have much to gain status-wise from this Fatal 4-Way. Hold on just a second, chat. To be fair, it's mocap. I'm surprised they let Flair bump in this game and not have him turn into a pile of sand. Yeah, like I'd imagine that these guys very rarely take their own bumps. I mean, a very prominent gag is how like prominent like LA Knight is in mocapping like old WWE games. So I remember having a multi-choice book of your own, rather book of your OC in Royal Rumble. Wait, what? Sorry? Where's the fanfiction where Jericho gets his walls broken down? Like from the back. Big style. So in my wisdom, I'm going to sweeten the pot for you. Really? How's that? It better be good. Because I'm risking my neck out there against a couple of guys who want nothing more than to break it before WrestleMania. Well, let's not forget, you aren't exactly in there alone. If the past few weeks are any indication, it would seem that having Shawn Michaels in the ring as well should balance things out, don't you think? Yeah, to be honest, I'm kind of counting on it. Good. In any case, see if this doesn't give you more incentive. Should the winner of tonight's match be either the champion, Triple H, or you, the number one contender, that winner will have the privilege of selecting the type of match that you will have at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. So not only is it in your best interest to win tonight, it's also just as important that you keep Triple H from winning. The last thing you want at WrestleMania is to go up against Triple H for the championship in the very match of his choice. You've got a lot to think about, so I suggest you go get ready for your match. You know what? Go fuck yourself, Biscoff. I think that this needs to be a tag team match, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Ray J's talking about the wrench CYA WWE books. The what? So wait, hold on. Oh! Choose Your Own Adventure books? I didn't know they had those! I didn't know they had Choose Your Own Adventure books for WWE. Dude, that's crazy. I would have read that shit huge when I was a kid. I think it was when WWE was in their PG era. That makes sense to me. That's a PG era product. Hey, Sean, you want to see me? Yeah, sorry, we don't have a lot of time since our match is next. But I wanted to make sure that you send the right message to Ric Flair and Triple H in our Fatal 4-Way. No doubt we're going to beat their hides 9 ways to Sunday, but you've got a championship match against Triple H at WrestleMania. So he and Flair are going to do everything they can to demoralize you. Take it from me, I've been on both sides of the coin with Triple H. And and I can guarantee you that their plan is to send you a very serious message tonight during our match. You need to turn the tables on them and deliver your own messages first before it's too late. Oh, so you want me to put them through a table? Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down, brother. So before the end of the match, you should be absolutely sure to deliver your signature finishing move to both Ric Flair and Triple H. You do that, and you'll show both of them and the world who the favorite at WrestleMania is. Make sure you do it before the match ends. And don't worry, if things get tough, HBK and his sweet chin music have got your back. So let's go get them. So like the game is framing this in kind of the way that we were, you know? And where this is like, for all intents and purposes, a tornado tag team match. In a way. Ordering the Night of... I distinctly remember ordering the Night of Champions book from Scholastic's book order thing in school. Dude, I need to find these books, I think. I think we need to read these books on stream. I think we need to read these books. That's incredible content. Wow. If that... Dude, the fact that you could get Choose Your Own Adventure WWE books from a Scholastic book fair, like, if that doesn't tell you where the WWE was in, like, in the early 2010s, I don't know what does, you know? Like, that is... Like, that's crazy. I think you'd like the Night of Champions one since you could see with R-Truth in it. Dude, that's awesome! That's awesome! This is not his theme music, right? This is like Ric Flair music at home, right? This right here is like the Ric Flair music that you get at the McDonald's drive-thru, you know? This thing sounds like the Burger King Sonic toys, you know? That shit sounded like the Burger King Sonic toys that are standing across from me right now. Like, yeah, it's Shadow, but like, he doesn't have his ring cuffs. He doesn't have his buckles on his skates. His skates are a solid color. He's smiling for no real reason. Like, that's not Shadow. That's Dusk. You know? That's like Dark Patch. That's not Shadow. That's fucking Dark Patch. Alright. So chat, I'm not gonna let Triple H do his thing. I'm not gonna let him do it. I don't feel particularly goddamn invested in that. So, I think mass destruction. Now the question is... No! Sean! I thought we were on the same page, brother! What are you doing? Richard Blaze is crazy. Oh boy. Yeah, okay. I don't know why you're doing this, dude! We're an unofficial tag team going into this. Destruction! Dude, I feel like I'm gonna... What the fuck?! Dude, they're all gonna try and, like, just reverse my stuff. It's Yuksei, so they'll be busy fighting like it's two on... like it's two one-on-ones happening. That's very true. Because that's just kind of like how it works here with Yuksei. So wait, what are the conditions? Let me see. So I think the only thing I really need to do is, in order to like advance the game. Oh, hey! No. Yeah, like I need to hit my finisher on them. On both of them, and that's really the only win condition. I can fuck with that. I can mess with that. Yes, destruction. Baby, baby. Nice. If we're lucky, they'll play a cutscene after you hit it. Aw, dude, I would pop hard for that. That would be great, honestly. Especially if I could just sit here and taunt spam. That'd be awesome. Alright, Sean, if you're just gonna treat this like a... If you're not gonna treat this like a tag team match like we friggin' talked about in the back, I'm just gonna friggin' treat it like a Fatal 4-Way then. What do you think of that? Frankly, I'm not even gonna, like, go after Sean if he tries to submit Triple H, because I don't really think that they're gonna get too far with it. No way! Mass destruction. We in the house like carpet. Oh, hey! No way! Ooh! Wow! Immediate CTE, wow. That was cool as fuck. Ow! That shit was cool as hell. Wow. The evolution powers implode. Eikachi rejoins evolution. Fuck your simulation, Hunter. It was my simulation all along. Ah! Dude, my thumb is tired from mashing, honestly. I'm not even gonna lie to you, dog. Ah! It was my simulation all along. Ah! I'm glad that you find me quotable. What the fuck? Maybe there's a turbo option in the emulator? No way! And I unjoin evolution once more. And Eikachi unjoins evolution once again. No, I mean, like, I know what you're getting at, but, like, I feel like that would just make it more unwieldy, right? Whoa! I mean, I kind of stood in the way of that. I deserve that. Because I feel like if I try to do that, it's just going to make the game incredibly unwieldy. And I don't really want that. Alright, now we're making headway. Why would you do that? Like, the submissions I get, but that? That's not a fucking submission. No! Ow! Don't throw Flair. He's like 100 years old. Well, that's even more reason to throw him. Right? I thought you were gonna hit them with your sweet chin music. Ah! I'd say Triple H, please. I'm gonna be honest, chat, if I need to win this match after hitting my finishers on him, I'm gonna quit. I rejoined because I thought that it was still possible to defeat goddamn, Chris Jericho. But I have my limits, you know? I've got my limits, and that is the limit. The limit is needing to win a Fatal 4-Way match after hitting both of my finishers. Rather hitting my finishers on two guys against bullshit cheating AI. That's my limit. Directly hitting the head. No shit. I keep thinking that L is the strike reversal. Like, Egg is just not getting anything here. Destruction. Oh my god, the AI. Wait, L is in strike reversal? No. No, it's grapple reversal. You failed to pass the stage because you did not use your finisher. Done. Done. Finished. No. That's my limit. I've hit the wall. I'm not doing it, man. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Cutscene time. I'm not doing that shit. Some say Egg Hachi is still wrestling in that match to this day. And that's where his story ends. He gets stuck in the simulation. If it was just hit your finisher, then I could see myself doing it. Right? But winning it too? No. Absolutely the fuck not. Alright, hold on. WWE Day of Reckoning cutscenes. There's a lot of scenes in this mode. Alright, I'm gonna show them. Let's just pretend that this is Raw. Alright? Let's pretend that Raw is suddenly blue and is also named SmackDown. Okay? This is where you do the 2K26 My Rights is Egg Hachi because the main character comes back from a long hiatus. No. The lore right now is that he's stuck in a time loop of that Fatal 4-Way match. And in order to get him up to speed, we need to break him out of the time loop. Like that's his story. His fucking story is that he's, like, stuck in a time loop. Honestly, he got the load. Yeah. Hold on. What the fuck does that mean? Hold on. I'm looking that up. Oh, JoJo. Okay, yeah. Ric Flair Requiem. Okay, yes. He got fucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He got stuck in that time loop in early 2005, where he remains to this day. He got wooed, and to this day, some say that the match is still going on in this alternate timeline. But yeah, we'll see. I just enjoy the idea that he's stuck in an infinite time loop getting fucking gangbanged by, like, three extremely hard cheating AI. Honestly, I think that's funnier than if he... Dude, that's better than if we continued on and he won the championship. At least this is unique, you know? I can work this in somehow. I can make the Giraverse even more absurd. Like, we have, like, celestial/extraterrestrial beings, we got, like, animal and human mutants, and now we have, like, time loops and Groundhog Day. Just, like, all of the bullshit just, like, piles on top of each other until it's, like, a freaking sandwich. Full-on comic book universe, but in the ring. Dude, honestly, that's more fun. You know what? This all worked out, chat. This shit worked out just fine, frankly. This shit has worked out just fine. And then when we bring him back, it could be like he needs to win the world championship. No. This is not a... This doesn't have to be an ending for him. This is something we can revisit, you know? We can revisit this down the line. We just need to make it make sense, you know? This right here is his tragic story that he will eventually overcome to win the title. Oh, fuck me. No, we're dropping frames right when it's getting good! No! Please, no. Okay, good. Ah, yes, finish the story. No, like, when we break him out of the time loop, he still has to think it's, like, 2005, right? And that's, like, our truth. He, like, thinks everyone on the roster is the same, right, like, are the guys that he faced back then. So, like, he'll fucking go up to, like, Braun Breaker and call him Kane, or Triple H. Actually, no. What would be, like, the modern-day equivalent of Kane? Like, it doesn't need to be someone that wrestles like Kane. It just needs to be someone where, like, you look at him, and you're like, that's Kane. You know? He wakes up one
it's
day...
It's almost time for a 2.5 minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
No, like, he fucking hits his finisher, and he just ends up in a different game.
Nothing beats a cool, refreshing sip of water.
Thank you for the water. Braun Strowman. Well, no, Braun Strowman isn't in the company anymore, is he? I don't think he's there. Right?
It's break
Matanza from Lucha Underground.
Cheetos, my dudes.
I'm talking about the WWE roster.
In Battletoads and Battlemaniacs by Tradewest, the Dark Queen and Silas Volkmeyer have kidnapped Zitz and Princess Machinko and are holding them captive in the mysterious world called Gamescape. The Battletoads, Pimple and Rash, crash their way into the Gamescape and tackle super pigs, flies, and rats in order to rescue their friends. Although this game is very similar to the NES original, pro players will still find enough challenge, fun, and uniqueness to want the game anyway. The graphics, character animation, and big characters
He is not.
deliver
Okay, I
hot
figured.
action. The bonus level is so cool because you will feel like you're ice skating and bumper carring. This 8-stage game is not as long as the NES version, but is just as hard. The new turbo tunnel is difficult, so remember to keep pressing the jump button if you fall into one of the pits because you'll be sprung out of the pit if a small
Hello, Mario.
platform appears.
Who goes there?
Battletoads for the Super NES has a code that gives you 5 lives and 5 continues. During the
Ashley, how are you?
Press and hold down, B,
We've been
and
utterly
A
defeated
until
by
the
Day of
Battle
Reckoning,
Maniacs
so we're
logo
watching the
appears, and then
cutscenes
press start.
here after the commercial
The flag
break.
will flash red if you entered the code correctly. This same code will give you 5 lives if you use it on the NES game. Battletoads and Battlemaniacs is practically perfection, combining movie-like cinematic qualities with a great variety of action. True video game fans will appreciate the maintenance of high fun throughout and the unbeatable challenge, which can only be conquered with excessive practice. Battletoads and Battlemaniacs offers extremely high challenge even with 5 continues, resulting in a game that's hard to beat.
The only question is, when we eventually play Day of Reckoning 2, how are we going to justify this? Like, do we just, like, classify it as a non-canon story? I think we classified Day of Reckoning 2 as a non-canon story, chat. It's like bonus material. It's like an alternate ending, you know?
Om nom nom.
I think
oh,
that's
excuse
cool.
me, we're back, my dudes.
And welcome back to Raw. I was just, like, thinking about what the fuck we do when we get to Day of Reckoning 2. Like, how the fuck does that fit into this situation here? You know? Like, do we, like, insert another character? Is it a non-canon story? Like, we gotta think about that a little bit. But while we're thinking about that, let's check this out. For the new ministry? Oh my god, look at this guy here. The Big Show. I got another shot at Charlie Haas. No way! From the day you chose a new ministry, I made it clear that failure would not be tolerated. You had your chance to win the United States title, and you failed. Booker T deserved a shot as much as you did. And unlike you, he made the most of it. This is very much how Undertaker speaks at this point. Look at you. You're a disgrace. And this is what happens when you disgrace us. Wow. Egg wakes up and... Dude, I was thinking of the AAA game too! Dude, and it's fucking... Dude, really? Really? C-3PO? Look at this. Look at fucking Big Show here. No, I need to, like, goddamn see if, like, the Big Show sneaks up on you. Because... No way! No way! I'm gonna sneak up behind you, but it's gonna be quick because I'm hungry. That's awesome, dude. Like, look, the Big Show sneaking down the Yes! C-3PO! It's the Big Show! Alright, we need to see these cutscenes. Yeah, like, it's literally just the SmackDown version of these cutscenes. Rather, it's the same cutscenes, but now it's on SmackDown, and the roles are switched. Big Show, you moron! This isn't Goldust! LOL. Goldust is in TNA right now! Ignores the small ring shake, LOL. Alright. What? No! What? John Cena! I'm sorry. John Cena with the sweet chin music and his FU got your back. That, yes, the FU, famously a super kick. Really? Wait. Sean was gonna betray us! What? Sean was going to betray us! You son of a bitch! Dude. That's raw as fuck. No! Now do you see C3PO7? Wait, 8. Wait, that's 8. Do you see that you never had a chance tonight and you'll never have a chance against me at WrestleMania? Is that right, John Cena? You know it, Taker. Look at him. It's like C3PO8's already got one foot in the grave. Dude, he has no friends. So now that you like broke in the middle of my ring, I think now is as good as time as ever to announce my choice of match at WrestleMania. You son of a bitch! Why? Tell me why! So, now that you live broke in the middle of my ring, oh yeah. Okay, hold on. So it's gonna be, yo, hold on a second there, dead man. Before you announce your match, I have an idea for you. I've been thinking, unlike all of these punks in the audience, I'm going to be watching you do what you do best, and that's defend the WWE title. As bad as I want that belt, I'm not dumb enough to go for it when you got it. So since I'm going to be warming the bench this time out, I want to see the dead man do what he does best. You're the Undertaker. Yes. One of the greatest champions of all time, and you owe it to these people to get them a match that doesn't end with just one pinfall. Oh, it's gonna be 3 Stages of Hell, isn't it? I think you gotta make your match an Iron Man match. Oh my god. Well, let me say this. First of all, I don't owe these people anything. I've given my blood, sweat, and tears over the course of my career just so I can defend this belt as often as I do. I push myself to the limit night after night because I'm the greatest professional wrestler in the world. I face them all, and I've beaten them all, yourself included, so I don't have to prove anything to these idiots.
Hello, Mario.
Hi, Piecemeal Ravioli. How are you doing tonight? Hopefully your day went well. Mine did not. We have been utterly defeated by goddamn, by Day of Reckoning, and we're just watching the cutscenes right now. So now that I've clarified that point, I admit you're onto something. The traitor to the new ministry has had it coming to him for a long time. So why should I settle for pinning him once, when I could punish him even more? It doesn't happen often, Cena, but I think you had a good idea. Dude, he was going to talk this way to Sean? I am going to make our WWE Championship match at WrestleMania an Iron Man match. That way, I'll have the pleasure of beating the living hell out of you, C3PO8, over and over and over again. Yeah, fish got fried. And now he is stuck in a time paradox. Rather, no, it's more like stuck in a time loop, really. It's a time loop, more like. Over and over and over again. I'll beat you to within an inch of your life, and when it's all over, when the time is up, I'll take that last inch from you. I'll walk out of the ring the WWE champion. And you will finally rest in peace. What would Triple H's line be? Pretty good, just finished a session of D&D. Nice. C3PO8, tonight you've asked for a hardcore match against John Cena, the man who betrayed you just 1 week ago. Your thoughts going into this match? My thoughts? You want to know my thoughts? They should be obvious. My thoughts are that I've had some payback for that hip-hop wannabe. I don't know why he joined up with The Undertaker, and I don't care. I don't know if he was the interviewer on both brands. I would have to imagine no. His line would be, "Get buried, cuck." Tonight, I'm going to show him why that was the worst mistake he's made in his life. Big Show, in 2 weeks at WrestleMania, the biggest event in the history of this business. I'll be defending my WWE title in an Iron Man match, excuse me. That's right, it's gonna be The Undertaker, undefeated at WrestleMania, in an Iron Man match. And when the smoke clears, when the dust is settled, it's going to be the dead man leaving WrestleMania with championship gold around his waist. There's not a damn thing C-3PO8 can do about it. That's right, but we've got a chance to end this before it even gets started. Get buried, cuck. Did you talk to Angle about a match tonight? Don't sweat it, boss. It's all taken care of. Our Olympic GM gave me a one-on-one match tonight against C-3PO8. And C-3PO8's gonna find out tonight that if he's going to go against the champion in 2 weeks, he's gonna have to get through the largest athlete in the world first. And I can guarantee you, that's not going to happen. You are the only brother of the new ministry who has never failed me, show. Get out there and do what you do best. Well, what about Booker T? Is he not part of this anymore? Did he, like, get thrown out or something? And when you're done, make sure that C-3PO8 is in no shape to even show up at WrestleMania. So C-3PO8, we're just 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. Ah, damn. I'll say the Undisputed title looks pretty good in this. This is my belt. Mine. Do you understand me? You will never wear it. You'll never be worthy. Oh, wow. If you so much as show your face at WrestleMania, I swear I will bury you, boy. Dude, if Triple H, if we got to the point where Triple H was like, "I will bury you, boy," I don't know what I would do with myself, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I know that you and The Undertaker are ready to battle for the belt at any moment, but obviously, it's going to have to wait until WrestleMania next week. Another week. I realize that you want a main event match at WrestleMania. But this is beyond business now. The Undertaker has made this personal. I don't know if I can wait another week to get my hands on him. Well, that's music to my ears, and it's also your lucky day. I said that you and Taker would have to wait a week to fight for the belt, but I did say that you'd have to wait a week to fight. You see, tonight, I've created a special Champions and Challengers mixed tag team match. Oh? It will feature you, C-3PO, and Victoria, the #1 contender for the Women's Championship versus Women's Champ Molly Holly and The Undertaker. You can thank me later. Now go out there and have a great match. I mean, I was kind of expecting, you know, the #1 contender for the US title. But alright, cool. Fuck you, Undertaker, you deadbeat. Okay, he says he will put you out of business forever. Oh, okay. Dude, it would have been so funny if he said that he would bury you. That'd be so apt for the time. It is because of you that I have no bitches. Nah, dude. It's because of you that I have no bitches. Ooh, hey! If the women's tag team betrays you, I'd have lost it. I'd have lost it too! Because, like, dude, he gets no friends and he has no bitches. That's crazy. Dude, are they booing C-3PO? Dude, finally, you're on the front foot. Like, it took forever, but you're finally on the front foot for what? Oh, hey, hold on. But finally, like, you're fighting back some in this godforsaken game. You know? He's finally doing what Sting could never do. Face The Undertaker at WrestleMania? I am going to retreat into the darkness now. You get back here, Undertaker! That's not the way back. Let me show you the actual way back in there. You gotta go left. Stage left. Wow, here we are at WrestleMania, the granddaddy of them all. You know, when you first signed your contract earlier this year, I had a hunch that you'd be a blue chipper with a bright future. But even I, Vince and Kenny McMahon, could never have guessed that you'd have such a meteoric rise through the organization. Not even I could have guessed that you'd reach an almost unprecedented level of success so quickly. But you have, and you've met every challenge along the way. So tonight, on the evening of your first WrestleMania, you have my sincere congratulations. Thanks a lot, Vince. That's Mr. McMahon to you. Okay, fine. Right, Mr. McMahon. Oh, and one last word of advice. You have an opportunity tonight, a very special opportunity, to win one of the greatest trophies in our business. With McMahon's dialogue here, I'm imagining a G-Man-like figure pulling the strings on your character for some reason. I am but a puppet on a string to win the WWE Championship. I don't have to remind you that there is a locker room full of superstars in the back, each of which have worked their entire career to earn the chance you have tonight. So my advice to you, win or lose, make the most of this shot while you've got it. Pulling the strings on your career for some reason. You're up against one of the greatest superstars of all time, The Undertaker. He is going to do everything in his power to destroy you in order to defend his title. Go out there and give it everything you've got.
Hello, Mario.
Because I guarantee you that if you screw it up, you got no chance in hell of getting another shot like this anytime soon. Thanks for the advice, Satan. Seriously. Wow, McMahon not being a Mick-ass for once. I know! It's crazy. It's not even like faint praise, you know? It's like genuine praise he's giving. Now leave me alone. I'm gonna shit on someone's head. You can count on me, Mr. McMahon. I've worked hard to get to this point, and I'm not going to let anybody down. Especially myself. I'm gonna shit on Undertaker. And Undertaker, I'm gonna shit on his head crazy style. He might be undefeated at WrestleMania, but tonight I'm going to make history when I take his belt. And, oh shit, they mentioned the streak? Wow. Dude, they mentioned the fucking streak? That's crazy. Not as good as your streak will die. In SVR 11. Yeah, that was a cold-ass line, I gotta admit. I'm almost glad we didn't pick SmackDown, because then that would cause a bit of a time paradox, you know? Because then the question would be, well, who actually defeated The Undertaker at WrestleMania? You know? Because then the question would be, who actually defeated The Undertaker? Yeah, you got it! I wish that were Akachi, dude, but alas. I don't think it ever will be. That would have been Batista! That would have been Batista, man! That would have been Batista! Man, now I'm sad. Now I'm sad. We could have had Batista coming in here congratulating us. Like, we could have had goddamn motherfucking the animal eggs back together. C3PO or the Controller? That is life's greatest question. We could have had our Yowie! Dude, he gave a Yowie stare, too. You saw that. You know that the title isn't the only thing that we're gonna have on
Hello,
our
Mario.
waist. You knew that the title wasn't the only thing that we were gonna have around our waist that evening. It was also gonna be some fun times with our best friends, Dave Bautista and Charlie Haas. Dude, Charlie Haas, dude, Charlie Haas gets a bigger spotlight in this game than he ever did in real life. That's insane. Wait, I missed Yowie? Kinda.
Please assume the position.
Dude. Eikachi knows all about the position. Why do you think he has an ass that big? Alas, it's not big enough to... Alas, it is
Hello,
not big
Mario.
enough to fucking, escape the time paradox that we've created for him. Hold on. Dude, we've been having, like, connection issues this whole night. This is bleak. This is straight up bleak, dude. Alright. Ah, damn, I missed it. Yeah, you kinda did, unfortunately. I'm sorry. And, yeah, I would probably say that we're at the end of the stream and at the end of Day of Reckoning, which is the first game in a while, or at least the first wrestling game in a while that we've not beaten because it's just too hard, you know? I'm not good enough for Day of Reckoning, you know? Hope you had a good time. It started out good, and then it became a pretty unpleasant time, unfortunately. I'm not gonna, like, lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you and say, oh, I had a blast. No, I was not fucking with it after some time, unfortunately, which is sad, because I like what this game does, you know? I enjoy the moment-to-moment gameplay. I enjoy the character customization, but it's just too hard, you know? And I don't like being, like, upset and raging on stream, because that's not fun, you know? I don't have anything to work with there, you know? And I don't really think that, like, on average, it's very fun for you guys to watch either. So... yeah, this is the first game that I've opted to not finish since... God, 2K20? Probably since 2K20. Hard like Paul's polycule. No, you're right! What the fuck is Paul up to? We gotta check in on him, don't we? We gotta fucking check in on Paul and his polycule. Only they can break Eikachi out of the time paradox that we put him in, or rather, like, the time loop that we put him in. I gotta figure out, like, a place for the polycule, I think. we gotta make them into the goddamn, into the goddamn X Factor of Eikachi's story. And it caps off with him finally being accepted into the polycule. You know? I like that. You know what? That's something to think about later on. Just, like, really, like, make this as absurd as possible and as stupid as possible. I think that right there is where the money is. The sequel does have difficulty options. Okay. Well, in the sequel, we can either make a whole new character entirely, or we can just remake Eikachi and treat it like it's like a non-canon story, right? Because the canon in the Giraverse is that Hachi got stuck in a time loop where he was forced to wrestle in a Fatal 4-Way match between himself, Ric Flair, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels for all eternity. And he's been stuck in that ever since 2005. Will something happen in the Giraverse to eventually set him free? He was burned onto a mini disc and is stuck inside the GameCube time loop. The loop is coincidentally shaped like the GameCube boot-up screen. The sequel is very evolution-focused, so... Are you kidding? Dude, again? Kazuegg. I love Street Fighter. No. The sequel is very evolution-focused. Dude, I've had enough evolution for one lifetime. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. It picks up where you left off after DOR 1. So what you're telling me is that DOR 2 is the non-canon ending, or like the non-canon sequel to DOR 1 in the Giraverse canon. Like, obviously, like, in terms of the actual game release, yes, it is a direct follow-up. But, for our purposes, it's non-canon, you know? He's learned to stop being the shit out of that one dude from the Polycule. Only then can he be released. Evolution should do the opposite and devolve. Yeah, like, devolve right off of my GameCube discs. And descend into hell. which is where Akachi may as well be. And the story takes place like almost a year after winning the title. Okay. Also, Paul's Polycule is the nickname for Evolution. Also, Paul's Polycule, is that the nickname for Evolution? No. It's a reference to, like, a series of guys that we faced down in OVW, where they all came out to polyamorous by Breaking Benjamin, and we made a headcanon where, like, they were all part of a faction called Paul's Polycule, because the last guy we faced was named Paul something, you know? Everything that happens in the Giraverse is canon to the Giraverse. Okay, so with that in mind, what the fuck do we do about DOR 2? Is it not canon? Is it like an alternate timeline thing? Like, is this a split in the timeline? Let's not focus on evolution. It's just reference. Polycule could have been dude, Polycule? I love that. I'm stealing Girafa. What the fuck are you doing, Idea Maker? I don't know what you're doing. I'm sorry. I need to pay more attention, I guess. Shit, dude. You can steal the Polycule. I love that. Thank you. I'm not... Actually, no. I'm not asking for permission. I'm telling you that I'm taking it. Any contributions made in the Longboy Club are here now and forever. Steb's to do with as he chooses. I mean, it could be a different character replacing Hachi's place in the universe. Like, we lost a fish, now a different furry is here to fix the timeline. We'll fucking brainstorm it together. It was just inserting ear into it for Giraffa era. LOL. Yeah, that's some, that's the timeline in where the time, loop happens for fucking, Hachi. Whereas the timeline splits after that, and he actually, like, finishes the match and goes on to Mania and wins the belt. You'll have a good night. I gotta get some sleep. You have a good night, Piecemeal. It could be a different character replacing Akachi's place in the universe. Okay, but like, where does that different character come from? Right? Like, they can't just come out of thin air, right? Like, if I, like, summon a furry, right? Then where does the furry come from? What if you do a Kazuma? Also, to be fair, imagine trying to remake Akachi again.
Hello, Mario.
I mean, listen. XTG, how do you want me to say your name? Can you, like, type it out, like, phonetically? Just so I know how to do it? It's some sci-fi stuff. Sometimes the universe just makes someone to fix stuff. I'm like, listen, we're essentially making, like, a comic book story arc here out of the Giraverse. I love this. This is what I wanted to do this year. I wanted to make things really convoluted and make things, like, branch off in ways that are fun for everyone. You know? I enjoy that we're creating this together. The Giraverse is a team effort, you know? It isn't just me, it isn't just, you know, my fucking idea guy, Colin, either. It's all of us together, you know? GirafaStev, once again, just to make sure that you're hearing, how do you want me to, like, say your name? Because some sort of furry Kazuya or furry Chin LMAO. Dude, furry Kazuya sounds awesome. What fresh hell has awoken in the Giraverse? Not this, we just watched the cutscenes. The fresh hell is that we've created a time loop involving this man. Let me pull him up real fast. We created the time loop. Jarex. Oh, so like Jared. Okay. But instead of a D, it's an X. Got it. Involving this man. This right here is Akachi. He's exactly what you think he is. But once upon a time, he also had Eggman influences. I'd be stuck in a time loop with that hunk. I know, man. Look at that. Look at his buttocks. Rawr. Rawr. I want some of that. Cake. Chat. Yeah, that man is stuck now, and we need to figure out a way to save him. And that will be the story of him going forward when we decide to return to it. But, wow. One exciting, absolutely befuddling chapter we've written in the Giraverse with this shit. Even the ace giraffe gets it. Listen, I'm asexual, right? So that needs... So by law, since I'm asexual, that means that I need to have the best taste in anything sexual, in anything sex-related. Whether it be butts or jokes, I gotta have the best of it, right? If I don't, then I need to subscribe to heterosexuality. Because obviously this shit ain't working out anymore. It's not working anymore if I can't make sex funnies that are actually funny. Okay? That's the whole thing. Anyways, I think we're done for the night, chat. Thank you for joining me tonight on this lovely adventure through DOR. Now, funnily enough, I do have the Forbidden DOR ROM hack here on my totally legit GameCube, for us all to play here, hopefully soon. Especially since it adds, you know, a few new characters, a few new match types, a couple new arenas, so on and so forth. And I would like to give that a whirl. I think that would be a better send-off for, you know, the original Day of Reckoning than for us to give up on the story mode and then just watch the cutscenes. I feel like that would be a much better send-off. So we'll try that maybe next week, okay? For tonight, I'm gonna send you off somewhere. Also, to finish my thought, Jarek seems pretty confident that he can recreate Akachi in 2K26. If he can do it, I'm all for seeing it. Because I genuinely think, like, I'll give you another look at this, Jarex. I genuinely think that it's impossible. The shit that we've done to this man is ungodly. This was the best way for me to be, like, formally introduced to y'all, LMAO. This was awesome. Will you be back? Can I expect your continued patronage? Or am I stupid? There he is, right there.
It's almost time for a 2.5-minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Oh, the fuck it isn't. Nope. Get out of here. Okay, yeah, but we're gonna go ahead and raid into someone here. Quickly before the internet crashes. Damn, let them know. I know! Dude. I'm letting them fucking know that my sex jokes have to be the best. And that I expect continued, consistent patronage here in the Longboy Club. Nah, it's fine. Let's see here. I can work with this. Dude, if you can, let me know. Let them know. Okay? I'll rate it to, goddamn Tracy here. Because he's rated to me several times. I want to do the same for him. So I'll do raid message there real fast. Copy and paste that into the stream chat when we get over there. Siren, I'm about to send us over to another WrestleTuber. So, like, if you are still looking for more, I've got another one here for you. His name is a dude named Tracy. He's really fucking cool. and he loves Thrillville, just like me. So, honestly, he's fucking awesome. Socials. There's all my socials right there. There's my Discord as well. We have a lot of fun over there all the time. They're in my Blue Sky group of WrestleTubers. Am I in your Blue Sky group of WrestleTubers? No. But yeah, I'm tired. I am very exhausted by Day of Reckoning, and I am ready for us to raid. So we're gonna do that. In 30 seconds, yes. Great. I'll see you guys over on Tracy's channel. Have a good night, everyone.